All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode number 67 of my weekly GEMP game review series. I am your host, Chris Gogolin. Thank you for joining us on this beginning of December here. We'll talk about a few things going on with the Star Wars universe and then pop over to GEMP and see what's going on there. First things first, let's draw some attention to it is the holiday season. And thank you to Ming for stepping up and running this year's holiday gift exchange. If you haven't gotten into this yet, there's still time to sign up. You have until December 6th, which is what, Friday? So you've got time to get in on that. Here are all the details and rules. Holiday gift exchange. We've been running this for a number of years, between the players. People just sending sort of fun, personalized items. There's always a few people who sign up for it and forget to send their stuff, and they get a gift and either don't, and then somebody gets kind of shorted. So don't be that guy. I know we all like getting gifts around the holidays, and certainly don't like getting shortchanged or making anybody feel like they're shortchanged. So we don't want that to happen. So you know, be sure and hop in on that if that's something that you're interested in. We've had a few people run it over the years. I know Cam ran it for a couple of years, and I forget who ran it prior to that. I think Batmass may have run it as well. Um, but now Ming has stepped up to take care of it this year. So thanks again to Ming for doing that. The other two big things we're going to talk about. The Outrider Cup is starting this week. It's finally here and finally upon us. We have our format for round one. It will be with the existing erratas, with the existing cards without any erratas being used yet. So we'll get to see the best decks of the existing card pool as it was. A lot of these I'm sure will be very similar to some of the top decks in the World Championships, but because of the diversity rule that we've implemented, where each team can only have one person using an objective or starting location, um, we should still see some variety in things. Team Europe, I've got 5 out of the 6 members of Team Europe has submitted their deck lists already, which are due today. We're already approaching 8 o'clock here on the East Coast, 7:45. So yeah, you gotta send your deck list in, Chris Kelly. You are not the last though. I've got 5 out of the 6 of Team Europe. Still waiting on Emil to send his in, and I've only got 1 out of the 6 of Team USA, and that would be their team captain, Joe Olson. First, you have to pick them. Help. Yeah, you want the users in chat to help pick your decks for you. Hopefully, that should have already been worked out with your teammates, right? So you guys don't duplicate and overlap anything. I would have thought you would have done that. And congratulations, Mr. Shaw, on renewing for the 6th month. You are now eligible for an Ezra Bridger foil. Uh, so thank you for renewing your subscription. And yes, deck lists. Deck lists are required for this. This was something that the captains actually suggested. They wanted to have the deck list that way, they would be handed in ahead of time, and then there wouldn't be any tweaks or changes. It looks like you have to do yours as well, don't you, Greg Shaw? Because I don't have yours yet either. But yes, the captains wanted to do it that way. There wouldn't be anybody making like daily adjustments to their decks. So if you know Chris Kelly and Stefan are playing, they've announced their matchup already. We'll go to the matchups. So these are the 6 matchups for round one. You got Werfs and Bastion, a nice little rematch there of the OCS semifinals. Desai and Emil, that's 4 world championships in one match. That's about as good as you can get, right? And 2 KTOD guys going at each other. Olsen and Silverglen is team 5. Those are teammates taking on each other. Shaw and Kieran, I think they played at Worlds this year in Europe, but that should be another good matchup. Chris Kelly and Stefan there. I always pronounce it Stefan. I don't know if it's Steven, but I always add that little European and go with Stefan. I think this may actually be spelled wrong. Um, and then we got Mishki and Tom Damon, not Damien. He's not the anti. Well, maybe he's the Antichrist. I don't know. The European guys can tell me. He seemed nice, but um, so yes, the team captains. So as you know, if Chris Kelly and Stefan are playing, when are they playing? Sunday. They're doing their match. So if they play, and once their decks have been known, if Chris Kelly plays Throne Room, then all the other guys on Team Europe know, okay, the Throne Room deck has been revealed already. We're not playing against it. We can all take according to my design out of our dark side decks. Um, and they didn't want to have that constant daily updates and monitoring and tweaking and changing. They wanted submit your decks and we'll all sit down and play as if we were playing simultaneously at the same time. And I thought it was a great idea and a great suggestion. I didn't want to put the extra effort on the guys to do it, but since they, volunteered and basically offered it up, uh, I was not at all gonna kibosh that idea. So I'm sorry, Chris Kelly. You should have vocalized your opinion more to your team captain and told him that his idea sucked and you don't want any part of it. Um, but yeah, we're still missing 5 deck lists from the Team USA guys. So any of them who are watching, well, I know at least 2 of you are because you've already commented in the chat. So make sure you get on the horn or the Slack to your other remaining teammates and remind them all to submit their deck lists before they go to bed tonight. And then we'll get some matches going here. Like I said, I think Chris Kelly and them said that they are playing on Sunday morning, so it could be our first matchup. I don't know for certain. Other guys may schedule things. They have from tomorrow until the 15th, which is next Sunday, to play their matchup. I'd initially announced that the round was going to be good to the 17th, but we have some set 12 errata that the advocates are very anxious to get pushed out into GEMP, but they didn't want to completely hose everybody in the Outrider Cup event, which we put a lot of time and effort into. There was a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of back and forth on this one. Spoiler, behind the curtain stuff there was a lot of back and forth on this one. Um, and I got them to agree to the 15th to hold off on pushing the changes out to GEMP. That still gives everybody going to Endor like 5 weeks to play test, which is more than enough. And it also gives the graphics improving teams time to finalize text, the graphics team to update the images, get the PDFs out, all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't happen in the middle of round 1. And of course, if you guys all play your matches and finish earlier, there's always the chance then, if you're done early, that they might be able to push it out a day or 2 sooner. I don't want to put any words in their mouth, but if the Outrider Cup rounds were all finished by the 12th or the 13th, then maybe they'd put it out on Saturday instead of Sunday night or whatever. So we have enough arguing going on that particular topic got lost in the shuffle. Oh well, yeah. I I have no doubt about that. I would love to see, if both teams have Slack chats, I would love for them to add me to their Slack chat so I can just scroll back up and see everything that's been discussed. I would bet that the Team Europe uh, Slack chat has been a lot more productive and probably a lot more, um, I don't want to say friendly, but I will say more efficient. A lot more efficient and effective than the Team America chat. I'm sure that there's some ranting and ramblings going on there, and I think that the Team Europe probably has a little bit more cohesion than Team USA does. So should be interesting to see how that plays out in the games. But we're going to do our best to try and stream as many of these games as possible, and so please again update us on when your matches are. I'll go ahead and get a separate thread going shortly. Actually, I'm just going to do it now before I forget. Copy, Outrider Cup, new topic. So similar to the OCS, we'll try and post when the games are happening. Sorry, I gotta fix this. It's gonna bother me. It should be in here. Yeah. All right. So these guys are playing Sunday, 12/8 at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, like we were saying, once the Outrider Cup games have been played, have been streamed, the winner of the match earns a team for their point. Try and find out which side really is the better side. Looking at what we've got here, you've got 5 world championships on the right side here, and a couple of, plenty of top 8 finishes and things, and European championships, majors, OCS events. Silverland's been in the final 4, I think, 2 years in a row of the OCS. And then on the other side here, you've got 2 world championships, Continentals winner, a couple of Indoor Grand Prix titles, and Final Fours at NPCs, and uh, lots of Final Fours at NPCs actually in this group, and an NPC champ there, and Chris Kelly. Um, so lots of top players playing their best Star Wars. They'll play round 1 with the existing card pool, kind of wrap that up, close that out, um, and then the errata will go into effect, and round 2 will happen, and the round 2 will happen before the Endor Grand Prix, which will be another advantage of deck lists being submitted for this event, is that you will get the first look at some deck lists in a post uh, errata world before Endor, and just see what some of the best players in the game thought were some interesting decks. Now, obviously, things will be skewed a little bit because it's a match play situation, and you're putting your opponent on a particular thing, so you're going to make certain tech card choices. But I mean, even if you're just looking at what do they feel like are some of the best light side and dark side decks after this errata, and any other new cards are released. Which leads us into our next post, which is the Set 12 errata. If you guys didn't see the Holo Theater show last week, shame on you. You should have been watching, or at least watch the replay. Chris Kelly, design advocate, was present and working with Queso and mostly Dan when his connection was capable of actually allowing him to go on. Yes, Outrider Cup deck lists will be posted pre-Endor. So once all the games from round 1 have been finished, I will post the deck lists from round 1, and then after they play their games, which will take place before Endor, it might not be much before, depending on some of the people, but once all the games, because I think it's the same thing, it's like the first week of January through the third week. So they'll may be up by like the Tuesday or Wednesday, I think, before the Endor Grand Prix. I'll try my best to get them done by Monday. Maybe I'll do that during, part of my show Monday night, which I think is Martin Luther King Day, um, before the Endor Grand Prix. So you guys will get at least a sneak peek, a couple days to look at and digest, and see if you want to make any last minute adjustments to your deck lists. But good question, Bill. But the errata was announced. Chris Kelly went through all the cards with Queso and Dan, and then they're all posted here. These are all the cards that are changing or getting removed completely. So you've got changes to map, you've got changes to RAL ops, you've got a minor little hit to Diplo. Throne Room's going to take a little bit of a hit with the Like My Father change. Just going to go back to a different build. It won't be as efficient, or it'll have to use different Lukes, so it won't have as many floating 6s flying around. Whether it has the Luke Young Skywalker instead that you can redraw when you draw him, maybe. Or they'll go to Old Man Luke, who's a 4, so then you have a 4 instead of a 6 if you draw him for Destiny. Um, little options there. They could also float it. You could do some type of docking bay thing, or the shield is down for the back door because it just has an Endor sight on table before you can deploy it, which kind of defeats the purpose because uh, a little bit, because if there's an Endor sight on table, why wouldn't you just deploy Luke to the Endor sight? Because then Luke deploys for 5 to Endor. You're making his deploy 1 higher. So we'll probably see more Saitor than Like My Father after the errata. And then Old Allies took a little hit with the backside of the objective, and then slight changes to Brave Resistance, which may also impact Legend a little bit as well. So be interesting to see how things shake up for round 2 of the Outrider Cup, and for any, the Endor Grand Prix as well. We will be streaming live as we always do. We got Queso and Reed Smith doing live commentary on site from Seattle. So 7 weeks from now, you guys can all tune in and watch that if you can't be there. Still time to sign up and head out there. I know flights are still pretty cheap. I've seen people get some good deals the last couple of days on Endor flights, and they're already up to about 25 people. Could easily get back up over 30, which would be great for that area to have continued success in their major events. They put on a great event, and if you haven't been, then you don't know how great it is. You should go, and if you have been, well, it's a pretty awesome time, and certainly would love to head back there. I've gone a couple of years. This year doesn't look promising right now, just because of my work situation, which is slowly killing me from the inside. Um, but yeah, all this new text is right here. This is in the set 12 errata, but it's not in like the first post. It's like 7 posts down. There's a little spoiler tag, and then there you can find all the text. This should all be announced soon, and then we'll have a new PDF and everything. And then possibly some other cards that Chris Kelly may have hinted at. There may be a few additional cards that, are just getting tweaks, a few additional cards that, I don't know if there's any new cards on the horizon, a couple of brand new cards we've never seen before. Maybe we'll get 2 or 3 of those in time for Endor. So, don't count your chickens just yet. The Star Wars card pool is constantly evolving. But that's all the good stuff that's going on there. I also do want to take this moment to point out that during next week's show, I'm going to do a special holiday giveaway of my own. We'll do a raffle for a couple of cool Star Wars prizes. And if I can find where I put them, I would show off what I will be giving away. This is out of my personal collection. Give me 1 second here. Where did I put those? I rearranged my office over the weekend a little bit, so stuff is not exactly where I am used to seeing it. Oh. Ah, there they are. Haha. So, one of the many amazing things that happened at the World Championships this year was that I got to finally meet so many of the European players and actually sit down face to face with Kevin Yap and Team Wales, the Welsh Dragons. Had a great time talking to them, getting to know those guys a little bit better, and Kevin has always done a really great job of hooking me up uh, when I send out the OCS foils with a lot of the Team Europe foils and things like that they do that are not they're not tournament legal, we'll say, but they do such a great job of printing out their packs and things like that. And it just so happened that the packs that he gave me this year happened to be, well, this is clear, not white, but they are red and green. So with the upcoming Christmas holiday, I thought it'd be a good time to pay it forward a little bit and pass a couple of these extra packs on. And I'll be doing that during next week's show. I'll also be giving away a stocking that will have these packs in them for the holidays. So definitely don't want to miss that one. I would say tell your friends, but then that just decreases your chances of winning the raffle. So we'll yeah, tell your friends. You want everybody. You don't want anybody to try and miss out on this. So uh, we'll go ahead and put that message out as well. That I'll be doing that. But that's what you can expect next week's show, and then I'll get those mailed out, so they should arrive to you wherever you are in the world before Christmas. And that'll be my Christmas present to the Star Wars universe. But that's what I got for what's going on in the Star Wars world right now. If you haven't submitted your deck lists yet, please make sure to do that. But let's pop over to GEMP and let's see what's going on here in the old GEMP lobby. Guys, let's play some Star Wars cards. Woohoo! Oh, I got packs. Well, what the heck? Opening packs is always fun, right? I think I have to go to Deck Builder for this, which now opens in a new tab. I go to My Cards, and I think I go to Packs. Yay! I get my choice of... oh, these are just regular packs. No foils. Let's open a Coruscant. You feel like a fool for not planning a spoiler on the show since it's the last one before 12:06. Well, you have about 10 minutes if, 10, 20 minutes if you want to throw something together last minute, Chris Kelly. Um, what else should we open? Let's open some Death Star too. Those are always fun, right? You never know, you might get an Emperor or something that just makes you feel all warm and fuzzy. And I always like to open something that has a foil in it, so I'm going to open an Endor pack as well. So that's how you get packs. You play in leagues, and depending on how you finish in the league, you get your choice. If you finish in the top couple people, you get a different card pool to choose from, which has Reflections 1, 2, and 3 packs in it to pick from, so you're guaranteed some foils. But let's see what we get in our Endor pack. Ooh, an A280 rifle. Forest Clearing, which was one of the best sights in the game for a while. Sneak Attack, better virtual card, but hey. Let's open a Coruscant pack. Where did my cards go? It just opened my pack and didn't go anywhere. Where's my pop-up? Well, there's my Death Star 2 stuff. I don't know how my it ate my Coruscant pack. Goddamn Jemp. We got Marijic, Honor of the Jedi. Okay. Used to be a virtual card that was really good. Now it's one that's okay. Mob Point, something special. Desperate Counter, which we've seen pop up in some new TTO decks recently, because you can get Combat Response or Arrest Order from Reserve deck, so you can get both of those out to then start matching, or get your docking bays to get your Death Star 2 docking bay, and then put your Moff Jerjerrod there to get around No Idea. That way they can't come kill him in the bunker or anything. And I guess you could do stuff like this with Movement Destiny. Probably not going to happen, but hey, you never know. You might want to get to something like this with the Scythe and Meanda and his cannon and follow them in, because you can't shoot them when you're in there, I don't think, but you can make their Movement Destiny minus, so maybe they get blown up. Pack opening gift may show on the main page. Okay. So if I go back here, hey, look at that. There it is. So there's my Coruscant pack. I got Kiadi. What was my rare? TC14. Oh, that's like the worst rare from the most expensive set. Teihau's not bad. Yeb yeb. If you want to play some Senate, Sense is always fun. Thank you for the tip there. And we have our last pack. Did it open on this page too? Nope, there it is. Ooh, battle deployment. Now we got an Admiral's Order. And we got that combat response. Strike Force, Close Air Support. I field the conflict. Squadron assignments. Yeah, this would be, you can start putting some stuff together. 10 or 12 more packs. Might actually be able to play something not terrible. So, but that's how that all works. All right, so let's see what we got going on here. Let's pop into this Jawa limited format game between Jared and Andy. We got Watch Your Step, we got TTO. We were just talking about TTO, so it's kind of fitting that there should be a game going on about that. We'll go large. Oh, it's not TTO. It looks like it's EOPS. Oh, it is TTO. Okay. He just happened to get his effects out already. Okay, so he's got IO and Secret Plans. Looks like Sidious. There's the Invisible Hand with some dudes on it. Who we got there? We got the Moth. We got Vader. We got Ozzel. He's got the docking bay, so he probably went Invisible Hand and then shuttled everybody up. And it's already moved to Coruscant, and it is, I'm sorry, Kashyyyk, and that's where it's orbiting. And he's got that thing's, we shall double our efforts, but his opponent has relatively unprotected out. You lose no, well, you occupy two battlegrounds, you lose no more than one force. The TTO, he's got his two battlegrounds currently. He's got a projection minimizing the docking bay. So, pretty balanced situation here so far. So you got a drain of 2, a drain of 0, and a ping of 1 for 3 total damage. And you've got a drain of 2 and a drain of 1 for 3 total damage. Check your Slack. I sent 2 parts spoilers. Mm-hmm. Dun dun dun. Why, thank you, Chris Kelly. Yeah, Chris Kelly, the image you sent me only shows like the bottom line of one of them and the top line of the other one. Unless that's all that's supposed to change. Or do you want me to just go? I can go look up and find the text in the playtest forum if you want me to reveal those 2 cards. All right, so the Outrider's going to move over. What do we got on the Outrider? We got Dash and Boshek and Elors as a passenger. He adds to the hyperspeed when he's piloting. Cancels lateral damage, which is always good to keep it from getting blown up. Lateral damage on the Outrider has long been a strategy and a way of dealing with this ship, because when you can subtract 9 power from your opponent, it can be pretty powerful. When you lateral damage it, not only do they not subtract power, but now their power is 0. It's kind of a good way to run it over. Then you got Boshek here, who, yep, he can subtract 1. He saved force to do that, or cancel an attempt to cancel and cause a redraw. He also blocks the drain of 2, so now he's minimized his damage to just 1, but he top decks that 1, even though he has an 11 card hand, and there goes his Falcon. It's probably something he's going to need this game, and he might have to consider burning Walkling to get it back. 2 half spoilers. So you gave me half of the text, which is the part that I can see is the, uh, yeah. Okay. Okay. I can see the tweaks. I can see the tweaks that are being made to these 2 cards. So they're partial spoilers. More things on the card may or may not be changed, but the 2 things that I can tell you, I will tell you after Darkside finishes this turn. All right, so Andy's going for a docking bay. No docking bays. He's only got a 6 card hand. He's got 13 power here, and that is Math Vader. So he would subtract 2 from a Destiny. Doesn't have another Black Squadron pilot there, though. And, God forbid his opponent should react, Ozzel would be lost. I don't know if he'd react and watch your step, but against certain decks, that actually is a real concern. I can't tell you how amazing it is of a feeling when your opponent does that and battles you and you deploy the spiral and then Ozzel dies and they go, oh, I forgot that did that. And you're like, yeah, that's one of Ozzel's flavor texts that seldom comes into play, but when it does, it's usually pretty important. All right, he's going to deploy Mara. He's going to ship dock and move Ozzel over, and then I'm going to guess he's going to split up. He could move the Death Star to Tatooine, move the Invisible Hand to Tatooine, and then move Mara back to Endor. Because now it's alone and piloted by an Imperial. We know Dash is already down and the Falcon's sitting over there, so unless he wants to burn his Walkling to get it back. Yep, he's going to move the Death Star around just like we said. Oh. No worries, Chris Kelly. We appreciate you even trying to give us any extra information. It's always appreciated. And thank you for being a loyal viewer of the show. And it's kind of fitting that you're letting me spoil one of the cards because, well, my name is on it. That's why you picked that one, I know. And he's just going to draw up some cards. So I've alluded to it. I've hinted at it. Overseeing it personally, maybe getting some tweaks and changes to it. It started off as a very good card to kind of give Hunt Down a chance against like Hidden Base. Also tied in a little bit with Bring 'em Before Me and things like that. Against the Hidden Base type decks or that just had the ability to just cancel a drain. Never. And then Old Allies came out and kind of just went like, we can just reduce the drain, and that's not the same. So that kind of put the card back into the binder and it never really found its way out into decks. And then Hidden Base got a bunch of other stuff to take it down, so it didn't become a problem. As prevalent, it snuck up in match play events or in top eights. Um, but overseeing it personally is on the list of cards that will be getting some minor adjustments to it, broadening the scope of it a little bit, and the types of decks that it can be played in, and it won't be so restrictive. So hopefully that'll let it see a little bit more play. Still, of course, has to be go through the final, the play test. It's still in play testing. We'll say that it's nearer the end, and they're happy so far with what they've seen from it, but it may still get some last minute tweaks. And Chris and I have discussed this on numerous occasions about adjusting that card to give it a little bit more life. We had a nice little chat during local tournament weekend about that. So, as expected, Andy moved everything around like we thought he would, and then he drew 4 or 5 cards to get his hand size back up. And cleverly used Jurjerod to take the super laser, which he then probably point manned right back to go dig out a better card. But in the meantime, he's going to get drained for 4 now, 2 and 2. Now he set up a drain of 4, but one of these is going to get blocked. I would assume this one because he can't get extra destiny there without an independent ship. Oh, wait a second. Independent or droid ship. Does this have the? It does have the droid icon. Would you look at that? So he could possibly get extra destiny here. I don't know how because he moved the admiral away, so he couldn't Imperial command it. But he would get one from the second sector. Uh, Add one battle destiny at system it orbits. So he could add a second destiny here. So be careful about that, Jared, if you're watching. Otherwise, that could be a problem. Always have to remember you can always click on things and view the active game text and all the modifiers to things to figure out what's going on and what comes from where. But as long as we've got a little lull in the action, let's talk about the card that the text is closer to being finished. Uh, and I assume the light side version is going to get tweaked to match. And I think this, I don't know if this came up already. Actually, I'm sorry, no, this has not been announced yet. I don't believe it's been announced yet anywhere. Um, but Blaster Rack is getting a slight little overhaul. It will potentially be changed to say deploy on table once per turn may download a matching weapon on your unique character present at a site. So where the previous version says when you deploy a guy, you can go get their matching weapon and from reserve deck and deploy it on them. You always got a little hosed if you missed your pull. You deploy your Qui-Gon, you go look for his lightsaber, it's not there. Or you have to play something else, a docking bay pull or something to go look, to verify, to see whose lightsaber's there so you know whether to deploy Vader or Maul or whoever first. Then you give your opponent a free verification of your deck. Or you just blind hope to do it, turn one or turn two and miss, and then your guy's sitting there for a while without his lightsaber for could be the rest of the game if they never actually come battle him or kill him, and you don't get a chance to deploy a second copy of him. So it's being tweaked that once per turn you can just deploy a weapon on a guy at a site, unique guy at a site. So if you happen to miss it turn one or turn two, now it's circulated back around because it was probably in the force that you spent deploying the guy, and then the next turn you can just go get it. I think that's a great change. I think that will certainly have a big impact on gameplay. Like we said, you don't have to necessarily do that early verification or waste a verification poll just because you really need to get the guy with the matching saber. You can certainly go ahead and risk, especially if you have things like barrier to prevent your opponent from battling you. Worst case, if you should miss, then you can just go get your weapon the next turn and then have a little bit more of an even fighting ground. So I'm very happy with that change. If it gets finalized and goes through, sounds like it's going to, though, that one's a little closer to being more complete. So thank you for sharing that, Chris Kelly. And I would assume Cytor is going to get changed to match. So Cytor and Blaster Rack getting a nice little tweak, a nice little update. And in the meantime, over here, what we missed out on was Jared deployed Kessel, and he dropped the Pulsar Skate with Mirax. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Theron Net and a Raltier Freighter Captain. Raltier Freighter Captain, huh? Okay. He has one to maneuver. I was going to say, it's not like he's going to Raltier or anything like that, but so they go to Kessel. They're going to set up a big drain, which resistance will come out, possibly as the fourth shield pull. And then 1, 2, 3. Battlegrounds will cap this at 2, so he'll still be draining 2 and 2, plus this thing is going to keep running, so that'll be 1, so he'll get a total of 5 in damage. And from his opponent, he takes a drain of 2 and 1 to TTO. He loses Dodge from hand, he loses Yachts Orin from reserve deck, and he loses a Luke Last Jedi from hand. Yachts Orin, also a guy you don't see a whole lot these days, but He does go get mech failure and or free ride into hand from reserve deck once per game. So he can get the free ride combo, which cancels occupation, which is pretty good. Um, I would think Imperial Entanglements in this Jawa format is probably a pretty strong deck. Could see some Cloud City type decks as well, running occupation on that platform. And then opponent's combat vehicles, power -2, and he can get mech failure possibly. Could be a good way to blow out Blizzard 4 or Veers in Blizzard 2 or something like that. Just overflow it to get it off the table. Sometimes you just need random extra smugglers too. All right, we got a Zuckus. We got a Maul. Ooh, Maul's in the cantina. That's weird. There we go. All right. So now we got a Maul in the cantina. Lando's there, so he would only get one swing potentially. Because then Lightside would get to use Lando's text. And we know he's got a dodge in his lost pile, which he could also pull and make him miss. So this doesn't seem ideal. And then up here, you've only got 4 ability going against Zuckus here. And this ship does not have any immunity because you don't have booster, Mirax, or wedge piloting. So Kessel seems like a good battle for Kimura. The Cantina not necessarily as likely of a good battle. He's going to battle in space first. You guys probably can't see I got a nice little playoff beard going here. I'm going to be Santa for the holidays. Alright, so we get a battle at Kessel. Not really anything that can react in this deck. So they're just going to... He's going to draw a 4. It's going to kill one of the guys on the ship. Light side could draw their 2 Destiny if they want to just know what those cards are, or they could decline. Oh, there's moving to attack position. That would not have helped much in this situation, as neither of those guys are Corellians. Oh, there's Rescue in the Clouds. So there's a nice 4 and a 5 that he just drew for Destiny. Now it makes you wonder what he's going to draw in this battle in the Cantina. And again, thank you, Chris Kelly, for sharing those spoilers. Now, please send me your deck lists for the Outrider Cup and harass your other teammates to send them over as well. So there goes the Raltier Freighter Captain. Yeah, if you... Well, this is EPP Luke, too. This battle in the Cantina could go fairly poorly if he were to battle with Maul. I don't like this play, as we just alluded to. He's got the dodge in his lost pile. Lando's going to cancel the second swing. He doesn't even have enough Destiny to do it, so he wouldn't even need to use Lando's text at this point. You could easily play the dodge here from Lost Pile, which I would. If you subtract 3 from each, Lando's defense value 3, he's got to draw 10 total. I mean, he should know what those are, which is making you think maybe he knows he's going to hit anyway, so why play the dodge? But I mean, if he draws 2 4s, he's going to miss. And then Lando gets to keep his forfeit, and then Lando gets to be lost, and Luke gets to stay and drain. So Yeah, you play the dodge. Well, that's a 0. Now you'd have to draw a 7, which I don't think TTO usually plays. And a 4. So that's going to miss. A 3 and a 4 would have hit Lando. And now Luke's going to get the swing back. Because it's Queso, month number 12. Yay! Congratulations, you get a foil map objective. Now that the supporting cards for map were eroded. Uh, it should still be worth playing, though. So he cancels Ball's game text, which he didn't need to do. He just spent a force unnecessarily. He only has one destiny left, so he couldn't really do anything with the destiny draw anyway. And some pretty solid destinies from Jared. Draws 2 5s essentially. R2D2V, huh? Adds a light side icon while present with the scomp link. He's a spy. Maybe he's thinking about going to the bunker. That's always interesting. In this Jawa format, if you're thinking about what decks are viable, that's not bad. Could just give you an extra drain in space, or if you go take out, go park at their battleground system or something like that, because all your ships have scomp links. Go park at their Death Star, make it a battleground. Go park at Coruscant against like Black Sun or something. So Maul's hit, forfeit 0. Lightside's only getting 1 destiny though. They don't have the second guy there. So it's a 4. So Lando's going to die, Maul's going to die, and he's either going to have to Gick or take 3 overflow. And then Luke's going to still stick around and get the drain for free. And he now has to figure out what he wants to do with Zuckuss. My guess is he moves the Invisible Hand to Kessel and moves the Death Star to Kessel. He's going to Gick it. Okay. Moves the Invisible Hand over. Yeah, you can do TTO damage as long as the Death Star isn't at Endor. Doesn't have to. It can still be at other systems at Parsec 8, so he can move it to Kessel. Yep. Now he's got a pretty decent fighting force there. It'll just sort of come down to what he wants to do. Now he can't. Oh, there's an add a commission. Try and get rid of something randomly. And it's also going to put another 5 right back into this pile of really good destinies. He can activate 15 force, which is going to put him exactly to that 5. So he's going to have that 5 plus the force he spent, and then the rebel barrier, the 4 he drew for destiny. And then below that will be the 2 5s that he drew swinging with Luke. So if he's got a way to get multiple destiny draws or battle in multiple places, he can certainly do some damage this turn with what he's tracked around to. Two force loss in the Cantina. Throws away that super laser and the lateral damage. Top decks that, but it wasn't necessarily going to do a whole lot with Elor still around because it's targeting your starship at same or related system. So all he really has to do is he'd have to move the ships together for a turn, cancel it, and then move. You're not going to get the Outrider with it, and if you got the Pulsar Skate with it, you probably just Hujix or something that battle anyway, and then, or, finds a way out of it. Alright, so we got Mirax, but she's not enough. Does he have a fourth ship? Does he have a wild card? Any other? I don't know what else they might be using as an extra ship here. We already saw him lose the Falcon, so maybe he's got a starship levitation. Retrieve the Falcon right into hand and redeploy it with Captain Han and Melas and battle and draw a whole bunch of fives. He just drew the out of commission. Or did he stop one short? No, he activated all 15, which is exactly where he could get to. So he just drew the out of commission that he just played last turn. That's bad tracking, Jared. That's bad tracking. This is not what we teach here, kids. We teach you how to track the right way, how to put cards back into key positions where you can use them. Unless by some miracle that was the card he really wanted, so he could play it again to make his opponent put another card out of play. Um, I'm going to guess no. I'm going to guess he just forgot that that's where he was or miscounted. But there's the firepower shield so he can retrieve a force. Because he did deploy Mirax and moved. And he'll pull the aim high shield to match that. There's the out of commission again. He got rid of Thrawn. I was going to say, I don't know that. Well, it did shuffle his opponent's lost pile. So maybe there's that aspect of it. He doesn't retrieve the Trade Federation Tactics, which was the 6. He gets back the Imperial Decree now. So at least it finds some use. But alright, well this game's going to take a while. I don't want to watch the whole thing while they play it out. So I think we're going to end our show here tonight. We're just about our hour mark anyway. Like I said, thank you guys very much for tuning in. Thank you. Hope you appreciated the extra spoiler. Thank you again to Chris Kelly for that. And thank those of you who renewed your subscriptions this month as well. Be sure to send me PMs with your screenshots so I remember to send you your foils because, well, my memory is not what it used to be. And in terms of getting stuff shipped out to people. There's still some of you I owe OCS foils to, which they are coming. Doing those in batches when I find time to pull them, find everybody's addresses, and get them envelopes written out, and in the mail they go. So, and we'll have some Outrider Cup games for you coming up in the next 2 weeks. So stay tuned for that. And be sure to tune in, like I said, next Monday night, where we will be doing a special Star Wars Christmas giveaways with Star Wars stockings. And those stockings will be stuffed with some amazing Team Wales prize support. Um, so, yeah, that'll do it. You guys have a great night. Thank you very much for watching. May the Force be with you. See you next week.